he's downplaying the actions that he took during that time, which included, like, you know, the simulated murder of Pete Davidson in a music video. I mean, there was a lot. Like, Pete Davidson's fucking weird. Sure. Okay. He's a weird guy. I can understand why you wouldn't want your, children to be influenced by him in their lives. Okay. And some of it was funny, and then it went to a not so funny place. I'm a Pete Davidson stan. Watch yourself. I don't know.
And that's how I knew that my mom had said that to him. I said, Dad, you know, they moved us to one of the most agreed upon to be one of the most dangerous places in the world. It's almost like they tried to kill me or something. I said, Dad, why'd you never come to get us? And that's when he told me that she was told that. You know, there's so many things that are put in Kim's head. You know, they bring influencers. Like, no one ever knew where Corey Gamble came from. No one in the fashion world knows where Gabby came from.
Where did that come from? You went from people placing influence in Kim's head to Corey Gamble. Where did that come from? What the fuck? It just feels like he had like an aneurysm or something, like with two wires crossed weirdly, and he just completely flipped the conversation. Am I missing a point here? Did they cut something out?
Came from. These people were practically made in a laboratory, in my opinion. And one of the things that they're really good at doing is being nice and being likable. And what they do is, for people that have some form of influence, whether it's an educated black woman like my mother that became the head of the English department at Chicago State University, or whether it's the most influential white woman on the planet, being my ex-wife, they have people that are around them at all times telling them what to be afraid of. It's like not what to do or say specifically, it's what to be.
Whereas Kanye West has Candace Owens around him at all times, and she's certainly not telling him that, okay? Like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but unironically and unconditionally, the people surrounding Kim Kardashian in that circumstance are probably better overall, considering like at least some of the things that she's done with respect to like criminal justice reform and things of that nature, versus the people around Kanye West who are just like, yeah, King, do it. Fucking blow that shit up. Blow it up. Ruin your career. You're fucking awesome. Doesn't really matter. Like, who the fuck influenced him to talk about Jewish people and stuff? You know what I mean? We know Clandis has a horrible track record in that regard. Remember when she said Hitler just wanted to make Germany great? That shit was crazy. She said that. And Kanye was like, preach. Preach on it. That's so good. Wild.
Be afraid of. And if you have a person that isn't afraid of them, you know, like a Russell Brand or Candace Owens. Right. It's not that we have to agree with this, but
they're not afraid.
They're not afraid to state what their opinion is.
Yes.
No one is God, and everyone has an opinion.
So a conversation like this is
He did say Russell Brand, which, God, I don't even fucking know. It's the same old blaming the elites propaganda that he's fallen into, but then somewhere along there he had someone whisper in her ear, hey, notice how a lot of the elites are Jewish, which they're not even. Like, there are significantly more Protestant elites than there are Jewish elites. Holy fuck. That's what's fucking so annoying about this conversation. What the fuck? Also, Kanye West is an elite. He's a billionaire. New Kanye vlog? Shut the fuck up. What? It's not new with Kanye, though. Hip hop in general has had an interesting relationship with the Jewish community and anti-Semitism. Oh my lord. Okay, these are a lot more complicated subject matters than ones we can very easily have a conversation over here in this space. Okay. Anyway, let's continue on with the Kanye thing before I get into more of this stuff.
The first indication that West might become a massive problem for the industrial deception complex came in 2015 and 2016 when Donald Trump appeared. And West had a very strong gut reaction to Trump that was very positive, and the people around him were panicked by this. The last thing you could have is one of the most popular pop culture figures in America coming out for Donald Trump. So they applied intense pressure to get him back on the script, and apparently his wife was part of that. His former wife, Kim Kardashian, who West now learns had a very close relationship with the Clintons and people around the Clintons. He had no idea. His relationship with Trump, on the other hand,
Why does nobody ever why does nobody ever on Tucker Carlson's team ever go, wait a minute, you're the most popular fucking news broadcaster in the country. The fuck do you mean the industrial deception complex? Dude, you're like 90% of that complex. How does nobody understand that that is what's going on there? Like how is that possible? That someone could be like, man, these elites sure are fucking doing all this stuff. It's like, you are an elite, bro. Getting paid like $30 million a year to defend billionaires and distract the dumbass public away from the real problems that face them, okay? So are you. Man, I am literally nothing, okay? I'm nothing. I'm a little tadpole in the fucking pool, you fucking idiot. Just because you watch me and I occupy this insane space in your mind doesn't change the reality that, like, Tucker Carlson is unimaginably more famous than I am and unimaginably more influential than I am. Nobody over the age of 35 even knows who the fuck I am. Except for your moms.
and flourished, and he got a window into the people around Trump. And in this clip, you'll hear him assess what happened inside the White House. Very interesting. Watch.
It was interesting. A friend of mine told me that Chris and Kim had called him because he had influence inside of the black community, and had called him to say, to get him to influence people to take the vaccination. Mm-hmm. And I don't have an opinion on that. I just want to state that as a flat statement. But it was wild that I didn't know how close my own wife was to the Clintons. I didn't know,
Wait, but that's him. Brother, you're in there. You're in the photo, dog. What the fuck? What the fuck? Hold up. What? Tucker Carlson like posting that photo is kind of funny though, because it's like Tucker Carlson's producers posting that photo immediately as he's saying, man, I didn't know how fucking close Kim Kardashian was to the Clintons. It's pretty funny. It's like a this you moment. He's literally leaning into the photo towards Hillary Clinton.
I didn't realize it at the time.
That you were married to her.
And well, I was married to her.
How close was she to the Clintons?
I mean, cell phone away, like, or hey, tell Ye to say this away, or hey, go out and use your platform to push the vaccination away. I mean, not away, but like take the away part. But
do you feel like at times you were manipulated by political forces through your wife?
Attempt manipulation. But yes, there was some manipulation. Me not saying I like Trump was a form of a manipulation.
For sure.
Yeah.
Why did you like him, by the way? You said you liked him early, like you saw him.
I mean, I keep telling this joke. If people say Trump was the first black president, I'm gonna be the first Latino president, because all the values, the conservative values just line up. Come on, man, Trump's the What do you mean? He has his own buildings. What are you talking about? He's like, like Ralph Lauren. Yeah. He made Ivanka.
You like Ivanka?
Yeah.
You wrote a post on Instagram about her husband today.
Yeah, you know,
what?
I had a dinner with Ivanka, Jared, and Josh.
Bro, biggest goobers, dude. Come on. Jared? You're hanging out with the worst goobers, man. I mean, Ivanka is one thing, but come on.
And a couple days later, I found out that Josh Kushner had 10% of Skims, which is a line that I had developed with Kim. And I had a lot of issues with the imagery of Skims. I felt like there's a lot of imagery that was overly sexualized and things that I wouldn't want to see.
Wait, what? Kanye West is running with like, Kanye West is running the fucking evangelical gamut right now. He's talking about like how he's upset about the sexualization in advertisement. What the fuck? Does Kanye West know who Kanye West is? He went no-fap? Don't do it. Don't do it, Kanye. Oh my God. Wait, didn't he used to date the what's her face, the slut walk lady? And like talked about eating ass and stuff. Am I misremembering? It was Amber Rose, right? Like he's been doing this for like 4 years now. Did you just wake up from a coma? She's such a fucking hoe. I love it. Kim's like the shapewear thing, right? It's gonna look kind of sexual. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's the Kim known for not having a porno. No, I mean that part is fine. You know what I mean? But I think what's going on here. I think what's going on here is the classic evangelical like born again line. You know what I mean? I think he's looking for salvation by hitting the I'm born again. I'm a born again Christian. Like I'm getting salvation through that. Yeah, I don't even know if he's trolling. I think he's just fucking lost his mind. Like a little bit.
My wife, and definitely not my daughter's doing in the future in order to sell product. But it reaches another level when it's like, okay, well, this is what my wife is doing, and this is what they're doing this is what she's doing for our children. But it reaches another level when her business partners are selling pieces of the company that they don't have to, because the company's already so successful and it's an internet-based company. So it's like they're really just selling off the company in order to create more relationships for themselves that are unneeded. It's like when I went to the Gap and with our release, they just like, they shoveled it out. I'm very cautious with my words. I'm really big on being able to have an adult conversation in front of the children. So I don't use explicit language in interviews especially. So I found out after this dinner that Josh Kushner had 10% of Skims and I had 5% of Skims. And regardless if, Josh Kushner figured out how to put $150 million, I'm sure it wasn't out of his own account, but $150 million, and I'm sure Jared still has a piece of that fund. Regardless of them putting that money in, for me to have been an owner in it and not known, just from a place as a creative where Skims is so based on a lot of the Yeezy ideas, then it's based on all of the relationships in fashion, because I had to use my relationships in fashion in order to establish Kim in a way where fashionable people would say, hey, I'm down to wear Kim's line. And these VCs, they come in and they get a piece of it after the fact, and they run around and say they have ownership in it. So as I put on my Instagram, which,
I don't get how he's not saying, like, it's kind of fucked up that a white dude owns a larger piece of that fucking company than I do when I put my fucking, like, actual blood, sweat, and tears into it. Like, he's got double the amount. That's capitalism. Like, in that situation, you could make a statement about white supremacy. You can make a statement about capitalism. You could say white people have more influence in this space as a consequence of, white supremacy, and therefore they end up literally fucking getting 10% of the company, a company that I put so much time and effort into, where I only got 5% of. So even my wife is engaging in this action without recognizing it. Okay? But instead, he's over here saying the exact opposite, which is weird. He's saying that at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. Actually, I was going to say he's saying something different, but I don't even know what he's saying because he's fucking out of his mind. He's just like not really making any tangible, cohesive, coherent points, really, other than the top of the hour ad break thing, which is cohesive. 2ton21, thank you for the 5 get the subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. If you no longer want to see the ads yourself, you can get gifted a sub if you're lucky, or you can just subscribe on your own with a $5 subscription or for free with Twitch Prime. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
Luckily for everyone, they could just write it off that, I'm crazy until they see my disposition in this interview, and then it's going to get scary. I said, hey, Josh, what if I had 10% of Carly Kloss's lingerie, shapewear, swimsuit line, and you have 5% of it, and you didn't know? How would that make you feel? And then after talking to them and really sitting with Jared and sitting with Josh and finding out other pieces of information, I was like, wow, these guys might have really been holding Trump back and being very much a handler right then. They love to just look at me or look at Trump like we're so crazy and that they're the businessmen. So when I think about all of these things that Jared, somehow doesn't get enough credit for with his work. And what is it? His work in Israel or his work in Palestine? What is this? You know where he made these peace treaties?
Wow, he stopped it. He didn't even want to say Palestine, bro. Lost his way.
Where was that? Do you know the facts on this right here? So I'm like,
I think that was between Israel and some of the Arab nations.
I just think it was to make money. I don't know. Is that too heavy-handed to put on this platform?
No, that's your opinion. We're not in the censorship business.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, unless it's fucking Rutger Bregman. Chatter's moms, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Yeah, unless it's Rutger Bregman calling out Tucker Carlson for being a fucking bitch to billionaires, being the, billionaire's little puppet man.
And I just think that that's what they're about, is making money. I don't think that they have the ability to make anything on their own. I think they were born into money. And for me, as a maverick and a talent and a person that's been, beat, kicked, lost everything, sad to have lost my mind, went from pull myself up by my boots don't have straps on them, but I say pull myself up from my boots to becoming a multi-billionaire that gets the price every year of my net worth goes down every year on Forbes. They just keep on slowly just taking it down every year. It's like really a weird thing. But as a person that has really built something from nothing, when I sit across the table from a Josh Kushner and he just feels so entitled to that idea, and this person has never brought anything of value other than so-called being a good venture capitalist, I have a major issue with that.
Dude, he's right. It's so weird though, because he's right about this, but then he's reinforcing the same dynamic that has led people like Josh and Jared Kushner into positions of power. And he's simultaneously defending Donald Trump, who is very much the same kind of fucking fail son, right? Almost identical. And this is all packaged as an anti-elites agenda. Meanwhile, he's defending Donald Trump. It makes no fucking sense. Everything he said about Jared Kushner and Josh Kushner not putting in any effort but still reaping rewards from something that he's actually put time and effort into, more rewards, just because they have money, is no different than my takes on capitalism across the board, because those are true. Those are true takes. So how does he arrive at the exact opposite when he's defending Donald Trump?
And it makes me feel like they weren't serving my boy, Trump, the way we could have, because, Trump wanted nothing but the best for this country. And it doesn't,
What?
Moses stuttered. And saying God is not always going to bring the most perfect personality. A lot of times, the most fake people, their job is talking and making people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And the realest people are going to make you feel uncomfortable at first.
Bro, what? That's what?
Do you talk to Obama still?
I was Obama's favorite artist. He actually met with me. Obama met with me and my mama to say that he was running for office back in 2008. And that he wanted the support. And everybody was so into this idea of the black president. And you were always cool. And it's also how many of us are there? Obama level, Ye level, Virgil level, just black, so brilliant that we cut through all of the lines of racism. You just can't get rid of us. Nat King Cole level, Dave Chappelle level. So in some place we'd have to be friends and get along because it's like, yo, you're at that level. You're like a, Formula One Lewis Hamilton race car driver. We're still driving a white car, but we're the best race car drivers that ever existed. And that was.
I wonder what could possibly be, hear me out on this, the reason that black excellence is what it takes for someone to actually get above the baseline and maintain their presence there. Like what could it be when like you have fail sons like Jared and Joshua Kushner in positions of prominence, meanwhile and they're still better off than like people who have been able to pave their way through all of that struggle and get to the position that they're at and still have to constantly solidify their presence there. I wonder what the reason for that could be. I don't know. Maybe the whole point behind the White Lives Matter shirt could explain it, Black excellence is a fucking myth. It is sold to the black community as the American dream to fuel capitalism. It is a falsehood. Yeah, but it is not. You're right about that. However, there is still the reality that like you have to be an exceptional person. You know how we talk about like black athletes in European countries and how they sometimes feel like they literally have to score and win and be excellent players to be seen as countrymen? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about white supremacy's impact on the black condition across the board that makes it so that you have to be above and beyond for yourself to be recognized as like, truly in a position of power. And you're constantly also fighting against people that will take you away. People that will try to undermine your position.
That was me and Obama's connection. But soon as I wasn't saying the things that I was supposed to say as a rapper, our connection faded.
So you don't talk to him anymore?
I'll talk to him if I see him.
Yep.
But I guarantee you he see me.
This part was
I don't even know that, man. I just thought that sounded cool. One idea that was in my head about 3 minutes ago that I really want to say is that's really interesting about the when companies get the BLM managers.
What's a BLM manager?
Black Lives Matter office manager. It's basically
the commodification of Black Lives Matter as a movement by corporations that want to use it as a marketing tool, like social justice as a marketing tool, is what also, pollutes this conversation. I think Kanye West is hiding behind a valid criticism of what has become of the Black Lives Matter movement within the corporate structure to kind of take the blame away from his overarching white supremacist narrative in the form of wearing the White Lives Matter shirt. You do the same though, no? Yeah, totally. Like always. I'm always doing that. What? Always. Famously. Commodify girl power in the wake of 2016 and Me Too. Yes. Like, there is a real argument to be made there. Okay? There's a real argument to be made there. I've talked about it many, many times over. Walmart throwing up the black fist and then simultaneously funding police unions is a great example of this, right? That's a great example of this. It's not real when a corporation says Black Lives Matter.